Welcome to Loco Gringo, Mexico, where we can take you beyond the usual on your vacation. Each week we talk with amazing locals who know the Riviera Maya and Yucatan like only locals can. Get real tips to real places, insights on the local scene, culture, and cuisine from a local's perspective. So pour yourself a margarita, mezcal, or tequila, grab yourself a comfy chair, and let's get the show going.
Hello everybody, welcome to Loco Gringo, Mexico. My name is Kay Walton and I'm your host. So glad you could join us today. Thanks for tuning in. Well, we're going to be talking to a beach seeker who is originally from Canada. He had a career in sales, and a couple of years ago, he packed it all up and relocated to Mahahual, Mexico. And he's going to talk about that journey. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Mahahual, it is about a 4-hour drive south of Cancun, an area referred to as the Costa Maya, another beautiful sandy destination here on Mexico's Caribbean coastline. So Parrish Konda is going to talk about his journey. He now actually lives in Merida, Yucatan, which it is the largest city in the state of Yucatan, just to our west. And he's going to share all the things that he loves about the Yucatan Peninsula, and I think you will find that he's going to be an inspiration that if you would like to relocate to the Yucatan Peninsula, he's definitely going to whet your appetite. This episode is brought to you by Playa. You know, lots of people ask us for information and help when it comes to real estate, whether they're looking for retirement, an investment property, or maybe they're looking to relocate to the area. And we refer them over to our friends at Playa. The folks at Playa we've known for years, and they'll make sure that you, the buyer, are fully protected and informed when it comes to buying real estate. So if you're looking to buy a piece of paradise, check out our friends at buyplaya.com. Hey, Parrish, this is Kay. How are you?
I'm doing just fabulous here. Just another beautiful day in Merida.
And is it, you know, Merida is known as the White City, right?
Yes, the Ciudad Blanco. It's known as the White City.
Why is that? Do you know?
You know, it's there's many myths and rumors. You hear all this rumble and jumble about the White City. I don't know exactly the reasoning why. It dates back to the Ciudad Blanco. I don't know exactly why I can't answer that question.
Well, I don't know. I thought it was, and I'll have to look it up too. I think it goes back to way colonial days, and I generally would know something like this, and I wasn't too sure. But it is the oldest colonial city in the Yucatan. And so my big question for you, Parrish, is how does a boy from Saskatchewan end up in Merida?
Well, yeah, it's a long story, and I guess my journey started not in Merida, but Mahahual of all places. So I moved essentially from a city. I'm from a city in Saskatchewan, Saskatoon. It's a population of about 300,000 people, and you know I've lived there essentially all my life. I'm 38 years old. And I moved to a place called Mahahual, which population on a high day would be 5,000 people more or less. So my journey took me from 300,000 people to a very, very small, unique village called Mahahual, just south of Tulum.
What year was this?
This would be about 2 years ago. I moved.
Oh, okay.
And I did move. You know, I moved for business purposes. I got involved in a company with a good friend of mine from Saskatchewan, and I moved. And I lived in Mahahual literally for 2 years, and then with changes and stuff with what we're doing in our business, it brought me to now to Merida.
And so it's a really big change. You go from living on the Caribbean side to Merida, the White City, which is also known for being a really hot city in the summer. The streets, it's really hot outside, yeah?
Well, you know, I don't, everybody says that, but to me, I see no difference. I mean, if you're in the downtown, then yes, there isn't as much, I guess, wind flow and breezes. But I spend a lot of, like I lived in Mahahual 2 years. My girlfriend lives in Playa del Carmen. I spend a lot of time there, which I also love the area. But I don't find much of a difference. I know a lot of people complain about, or say Merida is so hot, or it's a hot city, and you hear all these rumors. But to me, to my girlfriend, to people that visit, it's no different. Unless you're, in the downtown, then maybe because it's a little bit more closed in, you won't get the breezes. But it's a beautiful city. It's
oh, absolutely.
The colonial city, the history and culture is very strong here. It's almost really two cities in one. With the north end, which is more modern, you have a lot of fancy food. You have Porsche dealerships, Jag. You've got all the money in the north end here, and it's completely new. Costco, Sam's Club, Home Depot, list goes on. And then you have the downtown, which is the history and culture, the cobblestone streets, horse and carriage rides, the history, the architecture. It's really, really fascinating, and that's what a lot of foreigners or expats are drawn to, is the downtown here in Merida.
Well, it's a great city for sure, and and as you've mentioned, like things like Jag and Mercedes and everything are there, but it's become quite cosmopolitan and trendy. I was just in the historic district not too long ago, and was really just surprised, and all the little boutiques that have popped up and the little wine bars. Really, it's just absolutely fabulous to see how it's grown. Yes,
it's it's becoming more and more hip, more and more modern. Like there are a lot of the older style restaurants and traditional Yucatan food down in the downtown central, but you have new places popping up. A lot of little boutique. They've had the boutique hotels, but I'm saying more modern, trendy, hip restaurants. They have now it's called Mercado 60. It's a food truck park right in downtown, but they have live music, dancing every night. So it's very, very popular for the younger generation. The place is packed almost every night with people dancing, having a good time. So you see there's a lot of differences here, and then as you go to the north, you get the more modern, fancier restaurants. I live in the north end, so I see it a lot more. I love visiting the downtown, but for me to live, it's a little bit too busy, traffic is a little bit crazy down there. I love to visit. I love to go in the evening for a drink or a bite to eat. But living down there, and there's a lot of expats that love, they buy property down there. They love the older houses, colonial style houses. They fix them up. They keep them, or they resell them, or they rent them, whatever their purpose is. There's a lot of people that do love the downtown, and it is fabulous.
So, when you came to Mexico, you said you were getting into a business proposition with a friend of yours from Saskatchewan. Now, did you get in? Were you in real estate development per se and built a hotel or condos, or what exactly did you come down to Mahahual? Because Mahahual's grown up since Hurricane Dean. There's quite a bit of changes and things, but it's still pretty. It still has a quaint feel to it, so it's not too grown up yet.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's it's the last real undeveloped places along the Riviera Maya coast, and like I say, I've spent a lot of time in Playa and Tulum and Cancun, and I love those parts. But you really get to Mahahual, it's a unique setting, and I'll talk about that in a minute here. But what brought me there is, my partner Mike from Saskatchewan, he's been involved in construction and building houses back in Canada for many years, and he always had a dream of doing a project in Mexico, building something on the beach. It was just always a lifelong dream, or just a goal he always had. And him and his wife honeymooned in Tulum, I'd say about 6 or 7 years ago, and they fell in love with the area, fell in love with the beaches, the place, the community. Long story short, met an agent, a realtor that had some property for sale in Mahahual. They went and toured, and ended up, he put an offer on the land, and ended up buying the land and basically building a small oceanfront development. We built six oceanfront condos in Mahahual, which we did successfully sell out. And this was, I guess, this all started before I got involved. We started talking, and I took a trip. I've never been to Mexico. I was always a Hawaii type of guy. My family, we'd always, took us to Hawaii every few years, and I've never was in a resort in Mexico. I did Cuba and other places, but never did Mexico. So I hopped on a plane with Mike one day, and he took me down to, we landed in Cancun. Actually, it was 6 or 7 in the evening, and did the drive. It's a 4-hour drive to Mahahual. So we arrived when it was dark, and I was kind of wondering where the heck he's taking me to. I remember it to this day, arriving to the condos and waking up in the morning and just blown away of Mahahual and the beaches and the people, and just incredible. And I immediately fell in love, and I immediately, knew this was something I want to get involved in. And we started talking about, future projects and getting involved in the company. So long story short, I quit my job back in Saskatchewan and got involved with Mike and the company. And here I am today. We're about to start our new project up in San Crisanto, just outside of Merida. We're doing a new oceanfront project here. And but yeah, getting back to Mahahual, it's for people that haven't visited, I can't promote it enough. I can't say really any negative things about the place. It's just truly, you have to visit. You have to experience Mahahual. It's just an incredible place. It is a cruise ship port, I will mention. But even on cruise ship days, it doesn't get all that busy in the town or in the village or on the beaches. Most passengers will stay in the port. So you don't have, you're not going to have crowded beaches or too busy. It's just it's a unique setting, and the pictures, the beaches. I mean, if you jump on Google and do a quick search, it's just incredible. And like I say, it's a 4-hour drive from Cancun. A nice highway. It's stop in Tulum, have a lunch or a quick rest, and it's just a couple hours south of Tulum. So definitely worthwhile checking out if you're in the area. So
we know when we talk about there's lots of pretty beaches and the views are always incredible no matter where you are along the Caribbean coastline in Mexico. Is there anything in particular that makes Mahahual for you such an incredible destination?
Yeah, just its vibe. It's a little bit similar to Tulum, but it's just not as busy and it's not as pricey as I guess Tulum. It's just you have more of a laid back atmosphere. Everything is a little bit cheaper in Mahahual. Like I say, it's still, I guess, a little bit undeveloped. It's very, they don't really have, there is no big grocery store. You don't have any Megas or Sorianas or Chedraui. You have little tiny, Mexican grocery stores. So it's just the people there. It's just a very, very unique place. The beaches, there's some days where I was, you wake up in the morning, I'd go for a run and then, hang out on the beach. I would be the only person on the beach. It's just things like that make it beautiful. The snorkeling is okay, but it's really good for the diving. If you're a diver, Banco Chinchurro is an excellent. I'm not a diver personally, so I can't. I've had friends that go.
Yeah, it's very nice to dive. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I have friends that come from Canada every year. We plan a trip, 5 or 6 of my good close friends, and we do Mahahual every year because they love coming back and they just love sitting on the beach, drinking a margarita, putting their feet up, and literally being the only people around and just having a good time.
Now, if you've got your friends coming down from Canada and that, and aside from sitting on the beach with a margarita, are there other things to do in the area that you enjoy doing aside from maybe snorkeling? Do you go out to, I mean, there's the ruins of Chokchoben, which is a little bit of a day trip, but are there other activities there that you would recommend people who are looking for maybe not to do something every single day, but some activities along a week's stay?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're a fisherman, there's some good fishing. I'm not a fisherman myself, but there's some decent fishing, and there's obviously some tours or some groups that can take you out. There is a brand new water park that was built in Mahahual, Costa Maya Water Park. I forget the name of it, but it's a water park just as comparable to any water park with slides and whatnot in the U.S. It's an incredible water park to visit. So that's definitely an option. Another option would be, visiting Bacalar. Bacalar is 45 minutes or so, maybe 1 hour from Mahahual. So a lot of people know about Bacalar, the 7 lagoons. Very, very beautiful place also to visit. Other than that, in Mahahual, it's you can rent ATVs, rent bikes. If you have a car, maybe drive a little further south down some of the beach roads. So there's basically just beach roads that go all the way down to Escalak, or I think even to, I forget if you can get to Chetumal on that beach road. I don't know for sure, but there's these beach roads you can take, and you'll be the only person on the beach for miles and miles. I mean, you do see some houses down there sporadically, but take a drive and just cruise a beach road by yourself, being along the Caribbean Ocean. It's just fabulous.
Now, I've been on that beach road that you're talking about, and it's an absolutely incredible adventure to go. And the road stops actually, it'll end at Escalak. It won't go all the way to Chetumal. You could take a boat though from Escalak to Chetumal. Okay. But here's a question for you. There was a bridge at one point that was down to take that. If you take that road down towards Escalak, and I forgot it was by the Rio Hondo maybe, or the Rio Indio. I thought that I thought the bridge was out there, but that bridge is back. I don't know. I heard it was out, and I haven't heard if it's been resurrected or fixed yet. I'm not too sure. Like, I haven't been. Last time it's been a year since I've lived there, but I was just visiting there a few months ago, and I didn't do that drive, so I can't say for sure if it is fixed yet. I don't know. I'll have to check that out, because I always wanted to do that drive. I think I've only done it twice in the last 20-some years, and always it is certainly a great adventure.
Getting back to the White City. Yep. And I should have known this, and the reason why they call it the White City is because it's so clean. Like Merida being the White City, it's so clean and so white is basically the reasoning why it's called the White City. I had to do a quick Google.
A quick Google. Okay, we'll allow the quick Google for sure. Well, and for a lot of people, if you're listening because you have interest in Mahahual, it's a good opportunity for people who like birding. We have over 300 some species in the Yucatan Peninsula, a great variety of birds for people who are looking for birding, to go out, especially out in the mangrove areas. Not only will you get the seabirds, but you'll also get like roseated spoonbills and egrets and things like that. And I know it's nice because there's not a lot of development down there. So it's great to see all the different types of bird populations.
Right, exactly.
So, being in Merida and your girlfriend's in Playa, so you get a great diversity. It's a wonderful mix of great culture in Merida and then the Caribbean life. What keeps you here? I mean, is it business that holds you here, or is there something else that just really has captured your heart here in Mexico?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's obviously, for business is why I'm here. But also just the lifestyle, the people, the culture, the laid back lifestyle. It's getting away from, I love what I do. I mean, I am very fortunate to be involved with what I'm doing and the opportunity I have. and what we're doing with our developments and construction. But it's escaping the rat race. Back in Canada, US, it's that 8 to 5, 9 to 6. It's go, and rush, and, be here. And it's just, you don't have that here. And it's hard to get adjusted to that. It's hard to get used to that lifestyle, the different lifestyle here. And I love the laid back vibe. I love the people, and just, I have a saying, if something goes wrong or somebody's late or something happens, it's called Tim, and this is Mexico, and it's just, you just have to accept it. And that's the beauty of it. You can't do anything about it. You choose to be here, to live here, because you love it for these reasons. And it's a new way of life. And it's just, I couldn't go back to, and it's difficult, my family, I miss my family, I miss my friends, it's difficult because I miss that connection. I still get to go home every few months, but, I couldn't go back to that life. The life I had, the office job in Canada, I couldn't go back to that. I couldn't see myself sitting at that desk and doing my routine there. There's so much more to life, and I'm able to experience that. And I wish that, people could experience this as well. Or I wish people that are, in a situation, if they're not happy where they are with their career or life or job, if they're younger and they have the chance to travel, to experience a new culture. I wish I did when I was 20. I'm 38 years old now, but I wish I did this when I was younger, before maybe I started my career or going to school. I wish I just experienced what I'm experiencing now. I mean, not to say that I'm not happy. I'm obviously happy now, but I wish that looking back, that I could have done this when I was younger, because I think it would be an even better experience.
I think you're right. I mean, it gives you to go to another culture and live in another country gives you a different perspective on life. And it's an education you can't buy in a book or take a class online. It's something to be lived and experienced. And it sounds like you've definitely have done it, even though it wasn't when you were 20 something, but you're doing it now, and that's great. Can you tell me a little bit about what it's like to be working? I've talked to developers. A lot of architects and builders are Mexican nationals. When you're building, are you still doing projects like? Is it more residential, like condos and things? You've got a project that's coming out on the beach there. Is that more of a residential venture for you, or is it a commercial enterprise?
Well, no, we're building. We're 45 minutes outside of San Crisanto, or 45 minutes outside of Merida. We're building in a little village called San Crisanto, and right on the beach. We're just a couple minutes. So if you go to Merida to Progreso, and we're just east of Progreso. So we're building a small condo development. I wouldn't say it's small. It's 16 units, ocean fronts. It's not really a community. It's just we're going to have a gated area. It's in a Merida in the Yucatan state is one of the safest states and cities in all of Mexico. It's a great area, up and coming area. When you compare, I guess, prices in Riviera Maya, we're a couple hours apart from each other, and just the price difference is incredible. And people that are looking for a new investment in an up and coming area, it's the Yucatan is an excellent choice, and that's one of the reasons why we chose to do another project here. We looked at the Riviera, and I love the Riviera Maya. Don't get me wrong. It's just not many people can afford the prices in the Riviera anymore. It's especially for ocean fronts. I mean, there's great deals to be had, and someone specifically looking for new construction ocean fronts. It's a lot of people are priced out of the Riviera Maya market, and that's one of the main reasons why we chose this area. It's a newer up and coming area, and it's an excellent investment, and it's the construction that we do. It's my partner's been in construction for most of his life, and I've been in sales most of my life, and so it's kind of new for me, and it's been a huge learning curve. And when I moved to Mahahual, that was my job. When I got involved, I was there for the couple of years to help finish our project, and we worked with a local contractor there to. There's a lot of little issues we had. Some things needed to be fixed or changed or replaced, and we hired a local contractor and got worked through it and got these things done. So I learned a lot in Mahahual in regards to dealing or working with Mexicans, and so I have that knowledge now going into this new project, and we're fairly confident in this project, but it is quite the learning curve, and to do a project like this, or to do any kind of work in a foreign country like Mexico, it's very challenging and can be very frustrating. And a lot of people that think that it's an easy task, especially people foreigners that think they can build a house or hire a contractor. I'll send them money and can build a house. Oh, it's no problem. It's not an easy task here. It's very, very, very challenging, and it can be frustrating at times, but I wouldn't change it for what I love what I do. I love interacting with our clients, and it's a tremendous opportunity, but it's not the easiest task.
No, hey, anything worth doing is takes a little bit of elbow grease. A little bit, and a lot of hard work for sure. Now, I have a question for you about Progreso, because I know some of our listeners might not know where Progreso is. So, as you mentioned, it's to the north of Merida, and it is in the Gulf of Mexico. It's not on the Caribbean coast of Mexico. It's not on the Caribbean Sea, like the Riviera Maya. So, So is the water there? Do you still get some blue waters, or are you looking at? Is it what's the color of the water out there?
It's okay. Well, Progreso, Progreso is about 20 minutes to the north of Merida. It's a beautiful 4-lane highway to Progreso, and Progreso is basically the first village or city town that you would reach on the coast here. It is situated on the Gulf of Mexico. Progreso is a cruise ship port, and it's also a port city. So they also dock with big ocean liners and whatnot, cargo carriers, and so it is a fairly important port here. Now, it's the water in and around Progreso. It's not the Caribbean Sea. Now, one of the reasons why we chose to develop or build our project in San Crisanto is we found as you go from Progreso, the water really, really improves, and the beaches you'll get a nice white sand beach starting in around Chicxulub to Telchac to San Bruno, San Crisanto, where we are. It's Progreso. It's a nice. Don't get me wrong. It still is a nice place. They've got nice. It's like a nice Malecon they have with restaurants and bars and shops, and it gets a little bit crowded on cruise ship days. But the beaches are beautiful there. The water's nice. But as we found when we scouted out the area, we found that the water really improves towards the east, and especially where we are in San Crisanto. The beaches, it's clean. San Crisanto is the coconut nursery of the Yucatan state. So beautiful rows of pristine coconut trees. Yeah, it's very, very pretty. Very beautiful. No garbage, just nice white sand beaches. And in fact, we had an agent from Playa. We work with a few of the top agents in Playa del Carmen. A couple of the top brokers. They help sell some property for us in Mahahual, and we're working with them on our new project here. We had an agent bring a clients from the U.S., but she drove them up from Playa, and we did a tour. And she hadn't been here in about six or 8 years, and we were standing on our beach, and she was even impressed with the water. She compared it to Tulum, but I said, no, don't go that far. It's not the Caribbean. We don't have the deep turquoise. It's more of a emeraldy green color. We still get
really
some colors
pretty
in the water, but it's pretty. It's not the Caribbean, you know.
No.
We're not promoting that. We're not trying to sell that. It's a different. It's a different here, but the prices also reflect that. For somebody looking at an investment or property, the prices are obviously reflecting that here. So.
No, it's great. The other wonderful thing I love about the Progreso area, and it's been a few years since I've been up there, but for people who are into Mayan ruins, you have the ruins of Dizzy Balchun, which is a wonderful ruin site with a great museum. And if you're up in the Merida way, I would encourage everybody to go to Dizzy Balchun. And there is there's another ruin site called Aki, and I'm probably not pronouncing it properly, Ake. It is in a little town, and if you find a map, find this pueblo, because it's really a special place. I was there last year, and that's not too far from Merida as well.
Yeah, I did Visible Balchun. I have a tough time pronouncing it, my Spanglish there, but it's very beautiful. Another one, a good one, is Uxmal.
Yes, Uxmal to the south.
Just south of Merida. Yeah, that's another great site. And the beauty of the ruins and cenotes we have is, you look at Chichen Itza, and yes, it's fascinating, and it's a wonder of the world, and it's everything about it is great, but it's a very, very busy and very touristy and very, very packed full of people. And these other spots, I call them hidden gems, you know, like Uxmal, like Balchun, and they're just hidden gems where you don't have the crowds of people. You don't have. It's more of an experience because you're not surrounded by many people. You can take it in, and I know some of these ruins you're even allowed to walk on, which I don't really condone. But in fact, me and my girlfriend were just in. And her family who's from North Mexico, they were down here visiting. We went to Izamal. Now that's known as the Magic Town. It's just 45 minutes from Merida to the east, and they have a ruin site right in the town, and you can walk the ruins. We didn't even know these ruins existed. We were just driving down the street, and all of a sudden we just saw these pop up, and it's a really amazing. It's a magic town. Everything is in yellow. I don't know. Maybe you've heard about it, but it's. I took our drone and I got some great video and great photos on our Facebook page of Izamal. It's just really a beautiful, beautiful city. In fact, what I learned is Pope Jean Paul in 1993 he visited Izamal and gave a service in the cathedral there. So it's a really, really beautiful place.
I couldn't agree more. That cathedral there actually is the second largest Catholic installation, second to the Vatican. So
okay,
it's
interesting.
Yeah. It's. I mean, there's and of course it dates back to the conquistadors. And has a tremendous history, and Izamal is definitely worth anybody's time and effort to go there. It's an adorable city to visit with very rich in culture, and the people are super friendly. Yeah,
it's a very, very clean, no garbage. Like it's just it's just a unique. It's almost like Mahahual, but it's completely different. But it's in its own way. But it's just everything is painted in yellow, and they have great restaurants. The people are amazing, friendly. It's just a beautiful place. And that's, the Yucatan state here. And there's just so many places like this that it's Merida. And it's just the history and culture is incredible here. There's just so many hidden gems that, and Riviera Maya has them too. But as everybody knows, it's busier, and but here in the Yucatan state, it's just a little bit more hush hush. It's not as, discovered, I guess. It's more new, or more what's the word I'm looking for? It's just I guess undiscovered more. The Yucatan state here. There's so many little places that are amazing here. Las Coloradas, heading to Campeche, which I haven't been, but I've heard Campeche state is beautiful as well. So there's so much to do and see here. Celestune, Cecil, the flamingos. I mean, we have flamingos around Telchac, San Crisanto. You'll see flamingos. It's incredible.
No, absolutely wonderful. And I think for anybody who's heard about Celestune and their flamingos, their flamingos come in, I believe it's around December. Isn't it winter when Celestune has their flamingos? I forget their flamingo season. If it's year round, I thought it was just in December.
Yeah, I think it's November or December. I unfortunately haven't been out to out there yet, but I think they have something like 300 species of birds, including flamingos. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's a great place for flamingos. I'm trying to think. Oh, okay. So I Googled it since you Googled earlier. I thought I would join in the Google way.
Cheated. You're cheating with me.
I'm cheating with you. Celestune is a biosphere reserve, similar to the biosphere like we have in Siangkan. And the flamingos come in starting in November.
Okay, yeah.
So that's according to Google. So don't shoot the messenger. The other place in Yucatan that I'd love to share with everybody, and I don't know if you've been, Parrish, is Rio Lagartos, and they have flamingos year round.
No, I haven't. I have heard about it. Yeah, I haven't visited yet.
Yeah, it's to the east of Los Colorados, which people have probably seen pictures now on Google. It is the salt beds, the salt ponds that are real pink. So Rio Lagartos is just to the west of Los Colorados.
Okay.
So it's another awesome place to put on your hit list if you want to go check out the flamingos.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look on Instagram and you'll see Los Colorados is famous for the pink water. You'll see all the pictures, all the famous people traveling there. It's even in San Crisanto, we have pink water in behind where we are. It's not as prominent or as big as Los Colorados, but we do have some of the pink lagoons, and it's quite incredible. I often take my drone there and snap a few pics or do a few videos. It's pretty cool to see. It's a pretty unique experience for sure.
Well, that's awesome, and I'm definitely want to go and check out your Facebook page because I would love to see some of your drone footage, especially of Izamal. Parrish, I have a question for you. Where is if people want to get in touch with you, whether it's to ask you questions maybe about some of these incredible places that you mentioned, like Izamal or Progreso or Mahahual, or if they want to find out more about what you're building these days and pick your brain, what's the best way for people to reach you?
Sure. Yeah, we can. Our Facebook page is probably the most active. It's Caban Condos, CABAN. And condos, so Caban Condos. So we post stuff on there, not just about our development, or we're not just out to try to make a sale. We post a lot of stuff that's going on in the area, a lot of hidden gems, like we were talking about, places to visit, places to see. I make all our own videos, so you'll see some of my drone videos on there. The photos of Izamal, I just posted those a couple days ago. About 10 or 12 photos from Izamal. So our Facebook page is predominantly the main place to go. People can contact me through there, or I can leave my email. It's Parrish, PARRISH at regalproperty.net. So REGAL property.net.
Great. We'll put a link on the website so everybody, if you don't have a pen and paper to catch Parrish's email address, we'll have it on the show notes for today's podcast. Also, I know because I follow him, these guys are also on Instagram. So we'll have a link over to your Instagram account as well. So, sure. Parrish, I've really enjoyed this, and I'd love to stay in touch with you. And you never know what great fun things you stumble upon, and I'd love to see it. I have our paths cross sometime.
Yes, well, like I say, I'm always in play in the Riviera Maya visiting Elisa. So I'll give you a heads up next time we'll meet for a coffee or a margarita, and we'll chat in person.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
I appreciated everything. Thank you very much.
Well, are you inspired now to move down here? Do you want to move down here and have a little place of your own? Well, then you need to talk to our friends at By Playa. You know, they have a friendly and knowledgeable international staff. They speak lots of languages, and they are known as being a buyer's agent. Well, what does that mean? That means they are only going to show you and sell you properties they know that have escrituras. An escritura is a title. And it's part of their due diligence to make sure the title is clear, there's no liens, and that the person who's selling the property is actually the owner. By Playa works with lawyers that specialize in fideicomisos, which is a Mexican trust. You may have heard of it already before. And they can address things such as capital gains problems immediately and right up front, so that you have no surprises along the way to closing. So contact our friends at By Playa at buyplaya.com. Well, a big thank you to Parrish and a big thank you to all of you. But before you take off, I just want to remind you that you can get today's show notes at locogringo.com/podcasts. And if you were looking for information about Merida, Izamal, Mahahual, we have it all on locogringo.com. Please just go to our website. You can drop it right in that search box, and you're going to come up with a treasure trove of great information.
Thanks for listening. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe. For links, show notes, and more information, head on over to locogringo.com or give us a call toll-free at 800-478-0081.
Porque se tragó la luna, estaba enferma la rana, su madre soba que soba, dedos de pluma la panza, pensó ranita que luna era una toronja blanca, y aunque la luna es de leche, la leche estaba cortada, croa, croa, dedos de pluma, croa, croa, dedos de agua, croa, croa.